You started the thing and someone immediately texted me, which reminded me to shut my phone off.
Of course. Murphy's Law, right?
Murphy's Law.
I know. As soon as I come in here and shut the door, then he cries and he wants in because the door's
Right.
not like the door closed. So he cries and he whines and he scratches. But I've been outside all morning and that's unacceptable. So now he wants snuggle time.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
Look at him gripping.
Oh,
he's
hey,
like,
Peanut.
It's a good thing I have a hoodie on because he's like, he just wants to snuggle.
I immediately drop stitches. It's okay. We're off to the races now, Jana.
Tell me about what you're wearing.
Okay, so I grabbed this off my shelf. I knew we were going to do a podcast, and I was like, I should wear something. And this is one I don't wear very often because I made a post the other day on my Instagram about, hey, newbies, make sure that you're taking the time to match your yarn to your project.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an example of one where I did not match my yarn to my project well. So this is, I want to say, I can't remember exactly what this is called, but I knit it a long time ago. It's been probably 15 years now since I've knit this. Maybe 12.
Okay. But a while. Yeah.
A while. And I hardly ever wear it. And it's because, I want to say it's from Victorian Knitting Today. So it's a big lacy shawl. It's a V-shaped shawl. Let me see if I can hold it up. Ta-da!
Okay, yeah.
So you can see the points at the bottom. They don't want to stay points like they're supposed to. And the top doesn't want to block flat the way it's supposed to. And that's because I knit this in mercerized cotton instead of in the wool that the pattern called for.
Right.
So as its life goes on, you can see it's wanting to get wider. I'm not pulling on this. I'm holding it.
Right.
You can see though that it wants to get wider.
Yeah.
And these stitch patterns are kind of short looking.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens with cotton over time. Cotton gets wider and shorter the more you play with it. And it doesn't, like I said, like the little points on the end, they don't want to stay points.
Well, cotton doesn't have the memory that wool does, or the spring,
Exactly. So this pattern called for wool.
Sure.
But I was living in Arizona at the time. And so I was like, well, I'll do it in cotton. And I had a bunch of cotton. I don't even remember. I think I got it on like super sale at Webb's on their yearly sale. So I was like, oh, I'll get a bunch of it. I'll make it into a shawl. And it's just, it doesn't quite work for this pattern though. Like you don't want to be using mercerized cotton when you're doing a shawl. Right. So thought of the day.
It's bath time.
It is. You were getting a little bit of a bath too.
Yep.
He was like, Mom, you work so hard. Let me get your nose.
Well, he's upset that I was outside all morning. He's not happy.
Neglecting poor Peanut.
I know. So I'll go ahead and do a shameless plug. It's my channel.
Yeah. Shamelessly plug your class that's coming up. It sounds great.
So this class is for patrons only. If it doesn't fill with patrons, then that's fine. I'll open it up to the general public. But if you want to know about this class, become a patron first, and then you'd have special pricing. So the classes, there'll be 2 sessions. One will be on a Wednesday evenings for the next 6 weeks, and the other is Saturday mornings for the next 6 weeks, with one exception because I'll be away one weekend. But it's a toe up sock class. We'll start with a rounded Lynn Ashton's seam-free rounded toe, and then knit up. And we're going to do the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is a paid for pattern. This is why I'm not doing it as a free tutorial on the channel, because I will provide the pattern. I will provide copies of the pattern for the class attendees, and then we'll work through that together. So the class will involve knitting the sock over the course of 6 weeks with extremely detailed instructions. Like you can do it. If you can knit and purl and make basic increases and decreases, you can do this.
You're good.
So talking to you, Anne, talking to you.
I'm going to be gone most of that time.
I know. So the classes
isn't my
will
time.
the classes will be recorded. However, I really encourage people to attend live because then they can have their individual questions answered without having to, send messages or back and forth in emails. Really, the class will take 5 weeks, and then we'll have either a makeup if we miss one for whatever reason, or we'll have like show and tell, ask your questions at the end, just to make sure everybody's good to go. If they haven't finished one sock, they'll at least be good to go. So that is the plan. So if people want more information, sign up as a patron, and then you can read the post all about it. And links to register and all that are on my Patreon page, viewable if you're a patron.
Yeah.
Right. So there you go. That's what that's about. And then I'm debating. People have started to ask, what's our next knit along? And I'm kind of debating. So
do you have ideas, or
I
just
do.
sort of debating generally? Like, should we do a sweater? Should we do a shawl?
Well, I'm debating about double knitting, actually.
Oh, okay. Double knitting is really fun.
Yeah, it is. And I think I'm looking for a pattern for something really simple and quick, just to be able, like a pot holder, for example, because then you can at least get the idea of how it's going to work, but it's not a big project. But you could just use
and with like a pot holder, if you're just doing like a square one that's going to be totally closed, if you mess up, it's not the end of the world. Like if the two sides get stuck together, it's not the end of the world. It's your practice project.
It's okay. Yeah. Right.
It's okay.
And it's not like, I always say when I teach people to knit initially, like how to knit, like start with a dishcloth. Don't knit a scarf, because scarves are long and boring. And, a dishcloth, it's a dishcloth, right? If you mess it up, it's okay.
Even as an experienced knitter, I get sick of doing scarves at this point.
Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember the last scarf I made. I don't even knit them. They annoy me. I'll knit a cowl, but like I don't have any use for a scarf. I just don't.
They're more of a tasty amuse-bouche. A cowl. They're just like a little bit, you just knit a little bit and you're happy with it, and then you can move on.
But a cowl in my world, in my functional world, is more useful than a scarf.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because you don't want ends flying around and getting caught in things and stuff.
No.
Yeah, when I was a teacher, we banned scarves from the playground. The kids weren't allowed to wear scarves at recess. They had to have a cowl or nothing on their neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some fun ones that are like I like linen stitch scarves that are done lengthways.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get like the little dots of color, basically. They're really pretty.
Oh, let's talk about dots of colors. How's your ripple?
I'm getting close to the end of a row right now. I am working on, so I've done, had I cast it on while we were still doing the vlogs? Okay.
Yeah, and then I saw on your Instagram you were almost ready to divide for the sleeves. So
yeah, I've actually divided for the sleeves, and I'm working on the back right now, and I have about 20 stitches, and then I can hold it up.
Cool.
So I finished all the color work. It's just been the plain. I'll show you a mistake I made too that I'm probably just going to leave. Yeah. Because you start off with the little ripples are 2 rows of color, and then you do ripples of 1 row of color, and then you do the ripples just doing purl stitches. And there's one point where I think I got really into a TV show I was watching, and I just stopped doing the purl stitches for like 6 repeats. So it's just plain instead of rippled. But okay. Woo. So this is how it's going so far.
Oh, cool.
So I've made good progress on the sleeve. I have about 4 inches of the back done.
Okay, good.
So let me see if okay, so here's where I messed up. Can you see where it's just plain?
Oh, yeah.
Down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, like, I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
I don't think so either.
And I've knit like 20 rows since I noticed.
Oh,
I should have
wow.
fixed it right away. Just dropped and brought it up, but I was someplace where I couldn't fix it. So I was like, I'll just do a few more repeats. And then I kept being places where I couldn't fix it. And now I'm like, oh, that would be such a pain. Because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd have to drop 18 stitches down and bring them back up just to fix 6 missing purl repeats. And I'm like,
I don't think anyone will
can
know.
you even see where it is now?
No.
Yeah. So I'm like, I think I'm just going to leave it
Yes.
at this point.
Yes.
So I'm about halfway through the back part, and then I'll have to pick up the front again. I have them all on stitch holders now.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I have to do the sleeves, and then I was hoping to have it done before I left on our trip next week. That is not going to happen. But it might be the project I take and just work on
airplane knitting.
Yeah, airplane knitting and Shetland knitting and probably a little bit of Wales knitting. And I don't think I'm going to get a lot of knitting done while I'm in Wales because I'm going to be traveling on my own. So I won't have any car time. It's a lot of car time because I'm doing the whole coast of Wales and then up along the English border. But my husband won't be there to drive me. So I will have no car knitting time. I did not plan this vacation well.
No. Do you have other things on the needles at the moment, or are you being monogamous?
I have one other project I'm actively working on.
Okay.
And that is the Fleury Toury by Nicole Estelle Designs. And hers is done in, I want to say, Sage and Willow from Jameson and Smith. No, Jamesons of Shetland.
Okay.
Sage and Willow from Jamesons of Shetland. And they're 2 very similar shades of green. So it's very subtle. I am not as subtle.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mine is with the Flucra and I think Forget-Me-Not Heath. Yeah, Forget-Me-Not Heath from Uredale. Right. So I'm almost done. Lovely. There's like 2 short patterns to go, or 1 short pattern. I can't remember. 1 or 2 short patterns, 2 short patterns to go, and then you start the crown.
Okay.
So it's going very quickly. Fair Isle in 2 colors, man. That's like candy knitting to me.
It is. It's
really quick.
Fun. Yes.
So
it's a little addictive, you just want to do it in a row. And then I may have
stayed up for an extra like 3 rounds last night because I
thought you were going to say an extra like 3 hours.
No. I'd have been in big trouble this morning when I tried to get out of bed and was like, ooh. No. So yeah, man, Fair Isle's addictive. So addictive.
I'll show you what else.
So
go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, what else is addictive is colors and minis. Oh, okay. There goes Peanut.
Yeah, show me. I saw your picture of the progress. The colors change so much. I love it.
Yeah, you can see here's the corner, so I'm decreasing. Yep. DC, and I was at the library when I posted that on my Instagram, and I think I have 5 skeins left, 5 or 6 minis left. You're
really close.
Yeah, but I'm also working on, I still need to finish the other one of these. I haven't felted them yet, obviously. These are the, felted clog slippers for my sister. And then I need to make another pair like this for a friend, the patron who donated all the yarn we're using for giveaways and stuff. That was super sweet. And then I'm knitting a sock. It's my husband's turn for a sock. And I have this lovely DK from Lauren from A Girl in Her Wool. And this was a colorway that was part of her advent kit last year. And I loved it. And my husband's like, oh my gosh, does that come like in a big skein? And I'm like, well, not that I know of. But then in subsequent months, Lauren put it out as a colorway in a big skein. And it was number 6.
Handy.
It was number 6 of the advent kit. And she just called it number 6. And it's particularly nice. I ordered 2 because it was in DK. I ordered 2 because my husband wears size 13 shoes.
Yeah.
But it's lovely.
Oh, nice.
It reminds me of like pebbles in a river. And so I have this sock going for him. And it's just super really nice. Yeah, I mean, it's just super easy. But I will be knitting I just knocked something off my desk. I will be knitting a similar, well, I might be knitting number 2 for the class. We'll see.
There you
Anyway,
go.
yeah, why not? I'll knit with my class people. Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's what I have going on actively at the moment, because, but I want to cast on shortly a swancho for my daughter at college. It's called the Witching Hour. Have you seen that one?
Yeah,
With the
you
raven
showed me that one
skulls?
with the
Yeah,
skulls.
the
Yeah.
raven. Yeah, she really likes that. So,
Yeah.
and I have these cones from
Oh,
Brown
yeah.
Seed Company. So it's DK, so I'm just
You'll
going to
have
hold it
plenty.
double. I'm going to hold it double
Yeah.
because I have a lighter gray up there, and then I have a dark charcoal on the cone. So I'll just, like wind off a big cake and then hold the cone and the cake and hold it together. Yeah. So
Sounds like a plan.
lots of things. Lots of things. There's always lots of things.
Always lots of things. I agree.
I know.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I have a class coming up too that I'm going to do.
Tell me.
I only teach one class.
Oh, okay.
The only
How did
class
I
I
not know
do
that. I don't know why I didn't.
It's with Vivica of Uredale Farm, which both of the projects I just showed you are using their yarn. But we do a team teaching class together where we knit one of Vivica's designs, which is the fairy cowl.
Love it.
In the Uredale Farm. This is one of the colorways. There's another one that's more blues. And it's 2 sessions, and we split the class up. So in the first session, you come and we get cast on. We talk about casting on, and we get as far as we change the color in the middle part here, and we start talking about knitting Fair Isle. So the class is designed for beginners to Fair Isle. If you're intermediate, you'll probably get some tips and tricks that you are not aware of. And then in that first class, Vivica gives a talk about how they raise their sheep using organic farming practices, and then how it's processed in at New Lanark Mill on the mainland, and their organic processing practices, and sort of takes you through all of that. It's really interesting. And then that's the first week. And then the next week we come back and we talk about all the finishing techniques. So we talk about doing moss stitch in the round, and we talk about weaving in and all of that kind of stuff. And then I give you a lesson here. Actually, if we have time, we'll do it in the first one. I think we do it in the first one. So you can see on this repeat here, this is what that middle motif is supposed to look like. But this is what it looks like where the join happens, where you go around
so
in
it's
the
a little
round.
staggered, right?
Yeah. So because there's 2 stitches on top and bottom of the background color. So we will talk about how when you have a motif that is surrounded by 2 stitches, there's a way that you can smooth that jog out.
Okay.
And so we're going to talk about that. And it's a technique not many people use. I think I'm the only one I've heard teach this change that I know of. So we'll talk about how to fix that so that doesn't happen.
Okay.
And so all of that. So that's a preview. I'm not supposed to be promoting this until February 1st. So you don't have all the details yet. But follow my Instagram, I Thought I Knew How, or join the I Thought I Knew How group on Facebook, and you'll get all the details on February 1st, and the tickets will go on sale February 3rd. And then the classes aren't until March. It's 2 Saturdays in March.
Okay.
Because you need time to get the kit sent to you.
Oh, okay.
We will actually be knitting with the Uredale yarn as we do it. So
now here's a question. Yes. I know that there's Royal Mail difficulty at the moment. So in light of that, will people be able to register for the class and then use stash yarn if they have it?
Yeah. There's 2 different prices. There's the price with the kit and there's the price without the kit.
Okay.
If you are going to do it without the official kit, though, I strongly recommend that you find some Shetland wool to use, like a grippy fingering weight wool.
Yeah. So if people can order from the people
merino.
can order from the States, from yarn shops in the
Right.
States, like the Woolly Thistle, for example, that carries James
Yeah.
or
Well,
James.
they carry Uradale, actually. They just
Okay.
sent out an email
Okay.
saying they had a huge shipment of Uradale. So yeah, so you can
Oh,
order from
fantastic.
Uradale,
Okay.
from Woolly Thistle, or Stash Dive, or just really
But
any
yeah,
Shetland fingering weight wool. But I recommend, because we're going to be talking about the wool and
right.
everything, that you have the full experience and get some Uradale if you can get your hands on it. Oh, and in that second one, Vivica will do her lecture about how they were able to use local knitting words to trace the dialect transitions through time there in Shetland.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah.
Nice.
So that's
at the very least, people need to use 100% wool fingering, not superwash, nothing with nylon.
I wouldn't even recommend merino. Like, not, yeah.
No,
If you're
not
gonna do
merino.
a merino,
No.
I would
Well,
say, like, if you went for a Morehouse merino where it hasn't been super wash, yeah, like that would probably work. But
or I know that like Brown Sheep Company, I think, is an alternative breed. It's not merino. I think their fingering is a blend of could be Targhee, and I don't know. I shouldn't even say Targhee because I'm not sure of that. But the point is, it's not slippery, because you need to have something with a little tooth so that your stitches stay put.
So yeah, that's very, very important with color work.
Yes. Peanut, you're so needy. You're so needy. I picked him up because he was over here and he was about to claw my leg and like climb his way.
No.
He's a little fat for jumping. Hefty nut, we call it. Hefty nut.
Lifter.
Hefty nut.
Oh, so offended. He just gave you such an offended
I know, he gave you the side eye.
It's like, Mom, quit talking about me.
I know.
What the heck?
I know. So that's cool. So people should watch your Instagram. I have your links down below for your Facebook group, your website, and your Instagram. So I have all the links down below so you can go follow Anne if you're interested in that class, and make sure you follow her so you'll know when it goes live. Yeah. Cool.
Yep. So, but I'm headed back to Shetland a week from today, from the day we're filming it, is when we start traveling back.
For Up Helly Aa.
We're going back for Up Helly Aa. Yep.
Which is the Viking Fire Festival.
Yes. Viking. It's a modern day creation, but it's to celebrate the Viking heritage that they have there in Shetland. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Adam and I have been taking dance lessons so that we can learn
How did that go?
The Kaylee dances. It's been good. We've been having fun. Adam's been working really hard. He is not a fan of dance.
But he's sticking it out. He's doing it.
He is sticking it out. He is the one who suggested it, and that's how I knew he was serious about coming with me. So we crammed in. Like we've been going to dance lessons like 4 times a week, because we started so close to when we needed to go. Right. You know?
Right. So, and you said you had paid for like 20 lessons?
Yeah. We paid 20 lessons and we've used them all. We paid for another block of 20, and we're going to be like halfway through those before we actually go next week. I mean, that's how many. And this was like, when did we start? Did we start in January? I think we started in January. No, or was it in December?
Yeah, because we were talking about how you had dance class at the end of our vlogs.
Yeah. So, but it's not been long. It's been like 4 or 5 weeks. So yeah, we've got 2 of them down, or we've got one of them down pretty good. The one that they said was the most popular one, we have that one down. And then the second most popular one, we're pretty close. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Nice. So if people want to follow along, I know there's a website. I'll try to track it down and put it in the video description in the link. I know there's a website where people can follow along the festivities of Up Helly Aa. Is it from, it's a commercial, like a
Promote Shetland.
What's it called?
I think it's Promote Shetland that will put stuff up. But there's also like a Shetland Up Helly Aa page on Facebook.
Okay.
That will have pictures and stuff as they're happening. So that's another place to look. And then of course I'll be posting like crazy while we're there.
And that's super fun to watch, because not only are the costumes amazing, But they actually like torch a Viking ship.
Yeah, they spend all year. So it's different groups who like that you hang out with that year, and you plan a skit and you have costumes, and but the big one, like the major squad of the year is the Jarl squad, and they're the ones who dress like Vikings. They don't all dress like Vikings, just the Jarl squad does. But they know that their squad will be the Jarl squad years in advance.
Oh,
So
okay.
they start saving for it so that they have the money, and then they like their costumes look like Hollywood Viking costumes, like leather and metal and full on. They start growing their beards out months ahead of time, and they spend a year making a Viking longship, and they like take it around the town in a parade and everything and have pictures with it, and it's fantastic. And then at the end of the night they burn it
Because they put it in the water and light it off.
Well, in Scalloway they put it in the water, they burn it and then push it off into the water. In Lerwick it's like the water there is all like commercial, like it's proper ships and stuff there, so I don't think that they could get away with it there, but they parade it through the streets and they take it to the playground, which isn't just because it's in the middle of the town and there's space. And then everybody who is in a squad, regardless of whether they were in the Jarl squad or not, so it's everybody in all the squads, it's 1,000 people, each have a torch. And when the parade ends, the ship is left there and they all go by and they throw their torch onto the boat. So it ends up a massive bonfire
in the middle of town
ship.
At the playground.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So going to experience it.
And then someone comes and cleans up all the ashes.
Yeah, I don't know who it is that comes and deals with it. I assume like the next morning, someone in the Parks and Rec department maybe, or maybe the squad has to come from that year and take care of it, or I don't know. These are the mysteries that I need to find out answers to.
That's going to be an amazing thing to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I totally. And okay, so all of this starts on the last Friday of the month. Is that
last Tuesday? The main Up Helly Aa in Lerwick is the last Tuesday of January.
Okay.
So it'll be the 31st this year.
Wow. Okay.
The last day.
So yeah, I definitely am going to be spending some time online to see that.
Yeah. It will be streaming too. They do stream it. I think Promote Shetland is the one that streams it. Mm-hmm. So you can watch for that and see the procession as because it all happens at, that part happens at night, and it's very dramatic.
But for me, it's like middle of the afternoon.
Yeah. So it's not a big deal to wait up. And even there, it's not too late before it's pitch black because they're up so high.
Because it's in the winter still. So they don't have a lot of daylight. Yeah.
So I think it's is it start at 7 or it's done by 7, something about 7. It's not super late at night for that part. And then after there's you have 30-40 minutes to get to one of the community halls, and then the squads start coming around to the community halls and they do their skit and they have a dance with everybody and hang out for a little bit, and then another squad arrives and they go off to their next place. So
that's cool. So that it's like a big Viking procession.
Yeah. And then that the community hall stuff goes on to the next morning, not into the morning, to the next morning. It's all through the night. Wow. Completely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like after we talked to Jeanette Budge about the first fitting, it sounds like they know how to party in Shetland.
They know how to party.
Wow.
Well, and the day after is a holiday there, so no one has to go to work.
February 1st is a holiday?
Well, just the day after the Up Helly Aa is a holiday in Shetland, so people don't have to go to work.
So they all get to sleep in. What is the holiday called? Yeah. Up Helly Aa Hangover Day?
Up Helly Aa. Have the day off.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll definitely be following your Instagram. So then you go to Wales after that?
Yes. So then, well, we'll be there for about a week after. We're hanging around. We have some stuff to get taken care of there. And then we'll come down, and my husband will leave. We'll fly down to Manchester, and then my husband will leave. And Manchester's just outside of Wales. And so then I'll go around the country
And have your tour.
and have my tour, my grand tour reunion, not reunion, my grand return to my ancestral home, like we Americans love to do so much.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
And I'm going to stay home and watch your Instagram and wait for it to snow again, I guess. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So then you'll be back for a little while before your first
Yeah.
spring tour.
Yeah, I'm back towards the end of February, and then the tours don't start until mid-April this year.
Okay.
So I'll have all of my so I have like 6 or 7 weeks to be home.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, long enough to get comfortable again and then be like, "Wait, I have to go again? What?"
And your kids will be holding down the fort and taking care of the doggy and all that.
Yeah, they're grown-ups now. My kids are adults. What's so weird? So weird.
My youngest is going to be 18
Yeah.
next month, and it's freaking me out a little.
Yeah. My youngest has been 18 since October, but like she got her license like a year and a half before that and has just been like that was it. Like once she had her license, she was like grocery shopping and working and like
Yeah.
she's living a grown-up life.
Well, there's lots going on this spring, it sounds like.
There is.
So I'm going to
we
go
should do
hunt
this
down.
again when I get back.
Oh, for sure. For
and
sure.
I'll fill you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hunt down some like beginner-ish double knitting patterns if people are interested. And
Yeah.
if you have other suggestions for a new knit along, let me know. I think it would
Yes.
also be fun to do a Fair Isle hat. And there's always different
Always.
stock techniques. Yeah. I kind of like to do a smaller project right now just because I have so many things I'm knitting for other people.
Mm-hmm.
But also some technique videos, some things that I want to learn and then share, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I certainly don't know it all. It's so funny. People think just because you have a YouTube channel that you know everything. I'm like, no. I mean, there's various things that I want to learn, like different cast ons and bind offs. And then when I feel like I've got it down, then I would love to share that with other people and do
Then
tutorials.
you pass it on. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I certainly don't know how to knit everything there is to knit. Good grief. There's always things to learn. There's always lots of things to learn.
There's lots of things to learn. That's why I love having like my patrons. They're my brain trust, right? Like you get together with them and have knit alongs and stuff. And
Yes.
that's where I hear about different like new patterns and books and stuff coming out. Like so often it's from them because I'm so busy preparing stuff for the podcast that I don't necessarily have time to be like in Instagram and in all these other groups and stuff where things are being discussed. So a lot of the times sometimes I hear about things through social media and stuff, but a lot of the times I actually hear about things from my patrons.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. If people have watched the channel at all, I was helping to promote Heather's new box, her subscription box from So Happy Jane, and that's been a lot of fun. Her hand-dyed happy yarn club. And so then as part of that, she has a Zoom for subscribers. And I wasn't able to attend that particular one live, but I watched the replay because she sent out the recording. And it was really, it was interesting to listen to. I was just knitting and listening to it one morning, and it was about an hour. And it was just interesting to hear all the different patterns and things that people are doing with that yarn. And, you know, other patterns like I'd never heard of. I mean, there's so much out there. Like you can't know it all.
You can't know everything. You can't know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really good because there's always plenty of things to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We picked a good hobby, Jana.
I know.
There's so much to keep learning.
And now Peanut has schlumped himself onto my knitting. There's a good dose of golden. Peanut. Yeah, I know. There's a good dose of like ginger in little cat hairs knitted in, I'm sure.
Extra warmth.
Right. So you can see the purple's fading out. Speaking of hair,
I know.
I know. I don't know what's up with that. It only lasted a couple of weeks, so I'm not sure. And now I'm having the. Do you ever just have a great big hair dilemma? Like you've had the same style for a while. Like, do you ever have a big hair dilemma about do I grow it out? Do I cut it? Do I grow it? Do I cut it?
I
You're rolling
started
your
growing
eyes.
it out last winter and it got to a certain point and I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I will never have long hair again.
Really?
But now, like even like now, it's been a while since I've had a haircut. So it's kind of, ooh, look, I have a new style now if I just pull it over my ears.
Mhm.
It's getting pretty long again and I don't have a cut until the middle of next week and I'm like, I don't know, can we shape it into another style with what I have here? I don't know. What are you thinking, Jana?
I have no idea because my hair person, I don't know if she's actually left or not. There were
Ah,
some issues about like did I tell you she was, going to get married, move away?
right.
I don't know if there were some second thoughts, so I don't know. I
Mm,
don't know. I have an appointment and I don't know if it'll be with the other gal who is actually the owner of the place or if it'll be with her. If she just cuz she told
uh,
me if she decided not to move that she was just going to like slide over all the appointments and so I don't know. So,
yeah,
for a while I had it shaved and undercut on the side and I liked that, but you got to keep up with that, right? And you got to keep doing that like every 5 or 6 weeks. And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I'm brave enough to like do that myself.
Well, that's what has me thinking too, because on like it's not so bad with the first set of tours. I'm gone for about 5 weeks, and I usually get my hair cut about every 3 weeks. I'll go in and get it cut.
Wow.
Um, yeah, because I just like to keep it like it gets to a point where I'm like, ugh, and I'm at that point now. Like this, like all of this is way too long right now. Anyway,
It's yeah. Yeah.
I it's fine. Like I can go 5 weeks. That's fine. I prefer not to. But when it's the second set of tours where there's like the tours and then a week in between and then Shetland Wool Week and then,
Oh,
then it
yeah.
gets to be like 2 months.
Mhm.
And then by the end of it, like I really am just like, oh, this is awful. But a friend of mine there in Shetland, her sister teaches cosmetology
Oh.
there locally. So I'm like, well, if I can get in with her, I think I can. Or not, is it cosmetology they do haircuts? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, if I can talk to her and get in with her, she can do my hair gloss with my semi-permanent brown and also give me a little trim. I'll be okay. I'll be
Come on, just,
okay.
get some purple.
Yeah,
It only took like 30 minutes because, they don't have to bleach it when you're already
right.
yeah.
I'm not that white yet.
I'm gonna have to get
I'm
my purple
annoying
redone
white. Yeah.
because that's fading out really fast. Hmm.
Yep.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is if I let
You
it
could get
grow.
permanent next time. See what you did was you got semi-permanent,
I
so it
did?
washes out over time. Yeah,
It was whatever she had in the tube. I don't know.
right.
And they
Like
put
the
on the
permanent will last, but you'll have like a line you'll have to grow out, if you don't keep doing it, then
oh.
it won't fade as you grow it out. Yeah.
Hmm.
My daughter's hair is vivid pink right now. Vivid
Like
pink.
all over or just a streak?
Just all of it. She has naturally light brown hair, and so she bleaches it and she dyes it bright pink. But she wears it in a very conservative, like her hairstyle's not that much different than mine.
Right.
It's a little bit longer, but her goal as she goes off to Brooklyn is to become the Pink Lady of Brooklyn. So we
Okay.
went to Target when the Valentine stuff came out and looked for like pink house stuff that they might have out and picked up a few things. And yeah, she's fully embracing the pink.
Okay. So you were successful with that. And I just want purple Converse high tops.
Yeah, that
That's what I
works.
want.
That'd be cool.
Yes.
You can do that, Jana. You can do that. They
I
make
might.
those. You just have
I
to
know.
order them.
I know, but they're so much more expensive than they were in the 80s when I had them the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to do this again when you get back, and we will.
Yes.
And in the
Yes.
meantime, if people have knit along suggestions, drop a comment down below. Follow Anne on Instagram and all that, and so you can watch Up Helly Aa.
Yeah.
Cool.
And take Jana's class and take my class and learn all
Yes.
sorts of new knitting things.
Yes. Cool. All right.
Okay, good to see you
Have a
again.
good trip. Good to see you too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.